It's Luann Lennox with Tequila Snobs with yet again one more little bit about tequila. And actually, strangely enough, today we're going to talk about tequila's cousin. We're not going to talk about specifically to tequila, we're going to talk about mezcal. Mezcal is prepared very much the same, often prepared in the same areas, but it's another alcohol, another liquid all in its own domain. For one, as you know, as we've talked about, tequila is made specifically and has to be made specifically in this region of Mexico that's called Tequila. With mezcal, it doesn't have to necessarily be made here in this area and in this region of Mexico. However, it is indeed made most of the time there. Another difference is that it is made with blue and green agaves. They can mix the agaves. They still chop the agaves up the exact same way. They take the arms off these huge, massive plants and are left with a pinon, but they can use a pinon of blue Weber agaves, which is always used in tequila, or they can use the green agaves as well. So they chop all the arms off just like regular tequila. They have this great big huge pinon left, and they're going to then, the biggest difference between mezcal and tequila is it's the way that agave is cooked or roasted. Therein lies the huge difference. As you know, as you've seen all the other videos, hopefully you watch those ones first, they take that pinon and they put it in an oven and they roast it. The difference with mezcal is they actually dig a hole or a big pit. Sometimes it's rock lined, sometimes it's not. You can see some better pictures there as well. I like this picture. They take the pinons and they put them into this big pit, as it is here, and then they cover that pile of agave with leaves from the agave as well as palm leaves. They cover it completely. But realize they're digging that hole in the ground, unlike an oven that's up high that's actually roasted for tequila. So they dig this big pit, put the pinons in, cover it with palm leaves, and then light it on fire. And literally they smoke the pinons. So it's kind of the difference between boiled chicken and smoky, barbecued, grilled chicken. Now, if you're like me, boiled chicken doesn't sound so great, and smoked chicken sounds way better. But think about the differences in flavor, and there are huge differences. Same as tequila, once they have those cooked agaves, yet these ones are barbecued, pretty much they are roasted and they're flamed and charred versus the ones that are just cooked in a big brick oven. Then they do the exact same thing as they do with tequila. They bottle it immediately, they triple distill it or double distill it, depending on the brand, and they immediately put it into a bottle and poof, it's mezcal, or they let it rest in oak barrels or whatever whatever they decide, the distillery, wherever they decide to rest it. So it's rested the same as tequila. Some of them can be absolutely just as expensive as tequila. They're rested for the same amount of time to be called a blanco or a reposado or an añejo. But the difference is when you're all done, the finished product tastes very different. It tastes very smoky. It tastes like a campfire. A lot of times it'll still pick up the almond and the caramel and the oak and the whiskey notes if it's rested. If it's not rested, you're going to have that sharp, true agave taste and citrusy agave flavor at the front, but then in the back end, there's a very smoky, rich flavor. People who love mezcals, and people who don't love mezcals absolutely do not love mezcals, but they're very smoky and very different. I highly recommend the next time you're doing a flight or you're in the mood for something a little fun and you're at an amazing restaurant, ask them if they have a mezcal, and they probably do, and ask them for a little taste or a shot that you can maybe share with all your friends. But again, it's very smoky. Negative people have said it tastes like gasoline, it tastes like a campfire. It reminds me of that burned hot dog that I had when I was in Girl Scouts. Some people absolutely love it. They are all a little bit different, but they do have that definite kind of smoky taste. And one mezcal that I'm familiar with and that I always have on hand is this one. It's actually called Scorpion, kind of cool. Live in Arizona, gotta have scorpions, right? So usually I let everybody taste it and they give me their opinion. But the fun part about this bottle of Scorpion, and not all tequila, not all mezcal, but this particular one that's called Scorpion, actually, you're not going to be able to see it. No, how can I show you? You can see him in there a little bit. Anyway, there is a scorpion in the bottle. No, he's not alive. He's drunk. No, he is not alive anymore, but he's absolutely in there. And every single bottle of Scorpion Mescal always has a scorpion in it, which is way fun. My next story is going to be about whether there is a worm in a bottle of tequila or not, and where the story of the worm came from. If you don't want to watch this, you can Google it, and it totally will not be as much fun as I am. But stay tuned. I'm going to talk about the worm. And in the meantime, we have a scorpion in this bottle of Mescal that's called Scorpion. Have a beautiful day. Salute from Tequila Snobs.